Together, we embrace our differences. Together, we are accelerating equality for all. Together, we are leading the change. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? I hope you and your loved ones are safe and healthy. I'm Dr. Sharu Alfonso, and I'm your host for today, joining you from the Accenture studio. It gives me immense pleasure to be your host for Tech Thrivers, presented by Vahini. Accenture Vahini is a pioneering network working towards women's inclusion in the workforce and women in leadership. This forum offers talented women professionals in India like you an unparalleled opportunity to learn, share, and empower themselves and others. Get inspired by real life stories, join pulsating discussions, exchange path breaking ideas, explore career options, connect with Accenture leadership, and more. At Accenture, we strongly believe that an environment of equality and inclusion not only empowers our people to be who they are, but also drives innovation and growth. Today, we are celebrating the meaningful ways in which all of us can help accelerate equality for all. I hope you've got your favorite cup of drink ready as we brew and engage in more open, inclusive, honest, and meaningful conversations. What's more, we will also have exclusive breakout room connects with our tech drivers on their career journey, tech for good, and more. So, are you ready? Beginning with our first segment, let's turn the spotlight on Ruhi Ranjan, our lead for growth markets and inclusion and diversity at Accenture's Advanced Technology Centers in India. Being among the pioneering women to bring meaningful change in the technology space, Ruhi is a role model for women aspirants in this field. Inclusion is very close to her heart, and she believes that being inclusive is a choice we can make every single day. Welcome, Ruhi. I request you to address our audience today. Over to you, Ruhi.
Hi, I'm Ruhi Ranjan, lead Europe Markets and Inclusion and Diversity lead for ATCI in India. I'm delighted to be talking to you today on a topic which is extremely close to my heart. Inclusion is at the heart of everything that we do in Accenture today. We really believe the future of a workforce is one that is going to provide equal opportunities to all, everyone, whether they have a disability, whether they have a different caste, creed, or religion. We are an all-inclusive organization, and I'm delighted to be welcoming you to hear what we have to say about inclusion and diversity at Accenture in India. I'm going to play a small clip to give you a glimpse of what this means to all of us. that would have excited you a lot. What does technology and inclusion and diversity have in common? We are very large today. We've grown from 200 to 200,000 in a span of 20 years in India, with 38 delivery centers and 6 business centers in 8 cities in India. We are slated for an impressive growth. Inclusion and diversity forms the heart of everything that we do in Accenture today, and you can contribute majorly to it as well. There are a couple of pillars that we would want to talk about when we talk about inclusion and diversity for our people. The first few pillars that are very, very important to us are bold leadership, a commitment from the leadership to create an equal environment for all our employees. For example, we've committed to being an equal workforce, a gender balanced workforce by 2025. And we are well on our way to do it. Our policies and our frameworks encourage us to not only hire diversity candidates, but also to ensure we are able to retain them and give them a great career path with Accenture. We follow this up by comprehensive actions. Our policies include benefits for our returning mothers and retention of high-performing talent and encouraging our women to lift their hands up to take rich positions in an organization. We create an empowering environment for all our employees, and we work with our clients and partners to ensure we make this a reality. We also ensure that while we are doing this, we take care of our ecosystem, the communities that we operate in, the suppliers that we work with, and all external organizations which Accenture is part of us. It's a great ambition to be an equal opportunity provider for all our employees. And I'm excited to tell you that today, 9 out of 10 employees in Accenture speak very highly of the policies and the practices that we put together for them. What does this mean for us? This means that while we may have unique differences in the way we are, each individual can bring a lot to the firm that we operate in. We create a sense of belonging for each and every employee. We cater to the needs of our employees, the larger ecosystems that they operate in, including their families, and how do we bring them into our fold. This brings together and creates an inclusive environment. I'm looking at you to come with us on this journey. Join us for an exciting and an enlightening career with Accenture, where each one of you, though maybe different individually, can come together to create a great future for Accenture and be part of this thriving workforce. Wishing you all the very best and look forward to having you here.
Wow, that was indeed interesting. A big thanks to Ruhi. It is great to know our unique strengths and differences as we make greater strides towards accelerating equality for all. Now it's time to move on to our next segment. Let's talk about something which we all experience in our daily lives at some point or the other. Each one of us has a unique way of seeing the world, and we begin to interpret the world through the narrow lens of our own experiences, beliefs, and assumptions. There is a saying, we don't see the world as it is, we see the world as we are. With that, I would like to welcome Gitanjali Krishnan, our lead for Inclusion and Diversity program at Accenture's Advanced Technology Centers in India, to talk about the power of one. She will talk about the meaningful actions we are taking at Accenture and some actions that you can take to drive equality for all. Let's hear it from Gitanjali.
Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you. I'm Gitanjali Krishnan, and I am the Inclusion and Diversity Program Lead for Advanced Technology Centers in India. Really happy to be with all of you today, talking about my favorite topic, inclusion and diversity, and a topic that is relevant for all of you on this call today. So really excited to share about the inclusion and diversity strategy for advanced technology centers in India. So at Accenture, we know that our people are our competitive differentiators. And we also know that teams that are unique and that are diverse and that are inclusive produce a lot more innovative solutions than the teams that are not diverse. So going on that, our strategy for advanced technology centers in India is unleashing the power of one, right? Where we all work towards the goal of inclusion and diversity as one Accenture, moving towards a culture of shared success. So our inclusion and diversity strategy really is built upon these three pillars, where O stands for outperforming with gender equity, N stands for nurturing an innovative and inclusive culture, and E stands for elevating our communities. So let's talk a little bit about gender equity. So as you all know that Accenture has set out a very bold commitment publicly saying that we are going to be gender balanced by 2025. And personally, I feel that that's a very bold commitment and it holds all of us accountable to achieve that target. And it is difficult in the technology field because we still do not have the kind of gender balance that we would like to see in the technology work stream. So though we are headed in the right direction, there is a long way to go in terms of really achieving that gender balance. So I'm going to talk today about a few of the meaningful actions that we do within the gender space to really nurture and grow our women in technology. So the first step that we really do in the technology space is to develop our women and provide them an opportunity to upskill, reskill themselves in all the in-demand technology skills and making them future ready and the technologists of the future. Along with that, we have a lot of role models within Accenture, women business leaders who are handling very important technology portfolios, who also invest a lot of time in terms of coaching and mentoring our women employees to make them successful in the technology industry. Apart from that, of course, there is a lot of focus in terms of providing an equitable environment for our women, for them to support them, whether it is inclusive benefits and policies like maternity leave, flexible work arrangement, etc. But they are all geared towards providing an environment where our women employees feel safe. They feel that they can grow and thrive. And of course, they see themselves grow in their careers as well. Moving on to nurturing an innovative and inclusive work culture, we have three big components there. The first is the disability inclusion segment, a very, very important segment for all of us. And we are really striving to increase the representation of persons with disabilities within advanced technology centers in India. So what are we really doing to encourage that, right? First of all, I'm very proud to say that Accenture perhaps is one of the only organizations that has a global accommodation request tool. So just to give you a little bit of an idea, what does accommodation really mean in the world of disability, right? So if you have a person with a disability, the person may be using any kind of assistive technologies to enable that person to kind of perform at par with anyone else. Now, as an example, if somebody is visually impaired or is blind, the person may be using a software called as JAWS, which reads out everything on their computer, and the person is hence able to do their work-related jobs on the computer. Similarly, if a person is hearing impaired, the person may be using a very specialized bone conduction headset, which would enable the person to participate in conference calls and be able to really, participate fully without having any kind of limitation. Now, these are called as assistive technologies. Then we have our workplace accommodation, where we talk about is our infrastructure really inclusive of persons with disabilities. As an example, do we have a ramp at the entrance where a wheelchair user can come in? Do we have accessible restrooms? Do we have transport adapted to kind of accommodate a person with a disability, etc.? And then, of course, we have the HR accommodation piece, which is nothing but your benefits, your policies, taxation, flexible work arrangement, time off for any kind of medical need. So all this three put together constitutes reasonable accommodation. So at Accenture, our employees with disabilities can go ahead and ask for reasonable accommodations via this tool, which really enables them to, kind of empower them to be able to perform at par with everyone else. Apart from that, of course, we have a community of employees, a network who connect on a monthly basis. It's a very safe environment for our employees to really discuss about, whether there are any issues or whether there are best practices or whether it is just a community bonding. But really ensuring that our employees feel safe to able to self-identify themselves as a person with a disability and share their journey with everyone else so that they can build the awareness. A lot of focus on coaching, mentoring, specialized career development program for our colleagues with disabilities so that they can really thrive in our environment. Coming to our Pride community, our LGBTQ plus inclusion. Now, a lot of focus here in terms of attracting the Pride community, giving them the platform to really grow at Accenture, and also providing them with an environment where they can feel safe to self-identify in terms of their gender identity and sexual orientation. Now, a lot of work goes around here in terms of building that awareness, powerful story sharing, so that everybody is aware of what the Pride community is and how they could be a vocal advocate of that community. Parallelly, we are also ensuring that our leaders go through all the awareness sessions so that they can be very vocal advocate of this community as well. Caregivers at work. Again, a very, very important piece in the entire inclusion and diversity ecosystem. But we know that our employees are either caregivers of children or caregivers of elderly parents. They could be caregiver of children with disabilities as well. So we have the entire network of caregivers who connect with each other. There are some relevant topics that are discussed by experts, which can make a huge difference in each of their homes and enable our employees to really navigate work and their personal lives more effectively and optimize this for them. So coming to the third pillar of elevating and enabling our communities. Now, Accenture really believes in paying it forward and leaving no one behind. So one such program is ARAM, which is an inclusive internship program that we do for people from diverse socio-economic backgrounds. Primarily right now, we are focused on women and persons with disabilities, where they go through an internship journey of 16 weeks, and then they go through the assessment and get absorbed within Accenture. Now, what we are trying to really do here is to move from being consumers of talent to being creators of talent and really provide that opportunity to underrepresented communities to come into the mainframe workforce and more so into technology. Another program that I would like to talk about is the STEM awareness program. As I had talked about in the gender space, we still have a gender gap in the technology space. And this is our attempt to really go out there and shape young minds and motivate them to take STEM as their chosen higher education path. So what we are really doing is to kind of get a curriculum going for a week, 10 days, and go to girl students of class 7th and 8th and really talk to them about artificial intelligence and design thinking. And they also have some hands-on experience on the technology space, hoping that they would go ahead and choose technology and STEM subjects as their higher education topics. Moving on, Unnati is another flagship program that we run within the advanced technology centers in India. Now, this program has seen a huge amount of success where we are mentoring women tech startups and social enterprises We are coaching them and providing them with the support to really boost their business. It could be, either helping them with pricing or helping them with the right technology platform where they can actually showcase their products, increase their outreach, and really make them grow in their revenue and put a model in place for them. This has seen huge success, and we are getting more and more social enterprises as a part of this program. Last but not the least is the Return to Work program, where we are providing an opportunity or a platform for women to come back into workforce who would have taken a career break, right? It could be 2 years or it could be 5 years, whatever it may be. But we are providing them with that opportunity to come to Accenture into technology business by providing them with a journey, a learning journey that will help them integrate back into the workforce and into the technology space. So as you can see, there is a lot of actions that we take within the inclusion and diversity space. And it indeed takes a village to make all this difference happen and to make that magic happen. So with that, I will move into the next slide where we will take a pause and we will think about what is it that you could do in your ecosystem as inclusion and diversity ambassadors. So the point is, as I said in the beginning, this topic is relevant for all of us, right? And inclusion and diversity is the need of the hour, not only at businesses, but in communities, in every ecosystem that we are working in or studying in or living in. So what are some of the things that you could do at your end to ensure that we are making a better place for ourselves and future generation? First of all, understand your own biases, right? So all of us have biases. Our experiences shapes us, whether positive or negative. But these biases do creep into all the major decisions we take. Very subtly, we don't realize it, but they do creep in, right? So the first step is to be aware that you have biases. And that will help you deal with as you start on this journey of inclusion and diversity. Secondly, expand your network. Don't always be with people who are similar to you, right? Who have the same characteristics as you. There is no fun in that. So get out of your comfort zone. Be comfortable with the uncomfortable. Make friends with people who are completely different from you, who have completely different viewpoints. That is when you will start thinking out of the box. Thirdly, flip the situation around, right? When you're making a remark or if there is any action you are taking or if somebody else is doing that, always flip it. What if you were in that situation? Would you appreciate that? Would you feel excluded or would you feel included, right? So it's important to keep yourself in the other person's shoes. The fourth point, and perhaps the most important point, speak up for others. It is important that you become the vocal ambassadors for all the segments, for all the community. So as Malala rightly says, right, she says when the entire world is silent, even one voice can be very powerful, and that voice can be yours. Challenge inappropriate comments. Don't keep quiet. Challenge them, right? Because the more you become aware of the differences people bring, the uniqueness that people have, the more you will be in a place to challenge inappropriate comments or comments made by people who are not very aware of the situation. Pay heed to your language. Don't box people up, right? It's very easy to label people, put them in different segments. Don't do that. I think the bottom line is that each one of us come with our own set of uniqueness, which is different from each other. And that is what we need to respect and embrace, because we know that the power of diversity can really, really lead to a lot of innovation potential. Lastly, impact your community in whatever way you can. Pay it forward, right? If you are a student of STEM, you could go ahead and talk to girls in 7th and 8th class to kind of influence them to take STEM as subjects, right? You could volunteer your time for NGOs, right? Go and help the disabled community in terms of making them employable in the mainstream workforce. Right? Or as simple as getting an insurance for your household help. But whatever opportunity you get, go ahead and pay it forward to the community. So these are a couple of actions that I'm really hoping all of you will take back and act on. And I really had a great time connecting with all of you today. And thank you so much, everyone. It was wonderful having this conversation with all of you. All of you are the future talent for Accenture. And we are looking at all of you to make that difference and really be the IND ambassadors so that when you join us and when you come into our ecosystem, you are able to help us make that change and really, kind of integrate into our environment very, very easily. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Gitanjali, for sharing those wonderful insights. It's time to call our next speaker, Chandralika Hazarika, MD and co-founder, Big Things. A branding and marketing professional with over 15 years of experience, she turned her attention to digital entrepreneurship with a focus on building digitally empowered brands. She's a fashion design enthusiast and owns a fashion label called Velvet Piano. Let's learn from her about what it takes to build a career in technology and how to thrive in it for taking one's career to the next level. We hope that this segment influences more women to choose technology as their career path. Over to you, Chandralika.
Hi, I'm Chandralika, co-founder and MD of Big Things. Today, I'm honored to be here. Special thanks to Accenture to giving me this platform to express my views and encourage more people out there to embrace technology, especially the women out there. Thank you so much. So if I just have to say a little bit about Big Things, I started that with my co-founder in 2016. It's an award-winning fashion tech company. Diversity is the core of everything that we do because the kind of products we build is for everyone. And this diversity plays an extremely important role here. I'm an architect by education. And later I did MBA. That's not a normal course of action. And then 2016, I got into tech entrepreneurship. How is it different? It was very difficult. There are many stereotypes out there. So it was believed an architect cannot do MBA, and definitely believed that an architect can never be a tech entrepreneur. It's all I had was the determination and passion to go ahead and do it, to create an impact in the society. And that's very important in what we all do. That in my past experience, in 8 years, I was a brand head of a Singapore firm. There were more women than men. We did not ever had to debate on the topic on diversity because it was a global team that really helped me understand cultures globally, whether it's China, Vietnam, you're talking about Australia. Every geography has their own cultures, approaches to any problem and problems. The only reason I was able to help or grow Big Things was just understanding different cultures and diversity. It was extremely important to understand this. Women can get into tech without knowing coding. As every year passes and I speak to a lot of people, I feel there's some hesitance from women. Maybe sometimes it's a little fear that it's very code heavy, and I see them not coming forward. So the more I want to recruit more women in tech, I see a lot of hesitance. And if I can just clarify some of things today, I'll be very, very honored. Now, many times, some people tell me they can't afford it or there's not enough trainings out there. I think that's not true. The biggest example is my co-founder, who's an architect. He's a finance guy, and then he's a serial entrepreneur. But by education, he does not have a degree of maybe an AI or computer science. That's all. You have your outside there, platforms like even YouTube. You have free resources to go and brush yourself, keep you abreast with whatever you want to grow in your career. One can thrive in IT. You can get a very, very strong trend. All you need to do is you need to know what's happening out there. You need to follow the latest trends. And you cannot say, oh, I knew what the latest trend was last year or last month. It changes every day, especially in the post-pandemic world. I think things are moving even fast. So if you have the passion, all you need to do is follow the latest trends, keep yourself updated, upskill yourself, and know what's happening. And this is changing very fast, and it's very important. Tech has, over the past years, has given a notion that maybe tech is easy to make money or easy to make big. At the same time, if you notice, there are a lot of startups that fail. So as more and more people are getting into tech entrepreneurship, you need to understand like you cannot be obsessed with your product, because your products needs to evolve every day. You definitely need to understand, is there a problem in the society, in the market, what you're trying to solve. Your product needs to solve an actual problem. And if you know all the problems, all the solutions out there that doesn't exist or it exists, I think there's no stopping in any women or men taking tech entrepreneurship. It's all about understanding the global market and what is the need. And that's a very simple, but sometimes founders get so obsessed with the technology, they don't understand that everything around you is changing. So the tech that you build, maybe it took you 3 years, but today the technology is on a different level and you need to change your products accordingly. And that's very, very, very important. I can emphasize on understanding the global market, and especially women out there. Me being a woman, as I speak to more and more people, I have slowly realized that somehow we women have a little more empathy. We are excellent in people management, and that is honestly what tech needs today. We need a little of human touch that we women are born with, and it's so important to bring that in the products that we build. If I give a simple example, it might be very basic, but just to talk in layman terms. So Big Things is a fashion tech company, right? We are all around the human body data. We take two mobile phone photos, any mobile phone, two photos, I get all your measurements. I also take a selfie, my avatar gets generated. And further, I do digital experiences and digital garments. Now, when I talk of digital garments, if I'm talking about a silk gown and I'm talking of a linen gown, both of them has a complete different reflection value, right? Silk shines, there's a light that's reflecting. Linen is matte, it's like matte finish, it does not reflect. I often struggle with my amazing tech team because most of them are men, and obviously I cannot expect them to even understand the difference between linen and silk. But when I sit with a lady, she comes with the practical knowledge and it's so easy. So she might be a coder, she might be a DevOps person, but it's so easy because this is something they know from childhood. This is a very simple example, but I always felt it's so relevant because the moment I have a lady in my team's productivity goes up. There is a certain level, the way people behave changes, I've seen. And that's an amazing feeling, just how important it is to have diverse teams. Doesn't matter from which part of the world you are. Gender equality is everything. Only then you can come up with a product that is customer friendly, that solves the actual problem. At the same time, it's not scary to the end user. Your tech product should not be scary. It should be very easy for the customers to use and adapt. And that's where gender equality plays an extremely important role. In the end, I would like to highlight that tech does not mean coding. You need not have an engineering degree to get into technology. There are endless profiles. I myself don't code, but I do understand everything because I do tech recruitment. I have to understand everything. So it's again a mental, block that I've seen in a lot of women, that tech means you have to have an engineering degree, you have to code. You don't have to code. That tech is just technology is an umbrella term used for endless other solutions. It can be, marketing in technology, tech recruitment. It can be impacting the whole supply chain from the design stage to the implementation. It's all about sustainability. There are so many DevOps roles, as I always highlight. That role does not need coding, but without a strong DevOps person on the team, a product cannot do well. And this is like more of a managerial role, but you need to understand the whole technology, what code is going inside, but you don't need to understand Java or Python. You don't have to code. There are enough, there's a team supporting you, but that is where women need to open up a bit and understand you can play a very important role in technology in any a smaller company, whether it's a later stage or amazing MNCs that we have out there. All you need is the hunger to learn, to be a little uncomfortable in what you're doing, I would say, because it's very important. If you're very comfortable in what you're doing today, I feel personally, maybe you're not doing something that you really love, because it's a fast moving era. You need to move fast. And if you are hungry, if you're eager to learn, companies like us or, Accenture, for example, we are all there to help you guys out. Just follow your passion, give your best, be aware what is happening in the world. And please don't expect a shortcut to success. That does not exist. It's a continuous process you have to go through of learning again and again and again. And in tech world, as I always tell everyone, I sometimes go to sleep feeling that, wow, we cracked this problem today and this is done first time in the world. And we are super happy. I go to sleep, morning I wake up and there's a news of the technology changing completely and it's happening in some part of the world. And that's exactly, we have to adapt ourselves to new, constantly learn, come up. And if many of you also realize that it's a male dominated tech world out there, you are actually right. Very often, in fact, every time I walk into a room, amazing gentlemen sitting there, but often I am the only woman, taking a decision. But the beauty is in today's world, they don't treat me any inferior. They take, I'm on the same level. They take my advice. They know I come with little more empathy than they have, which is very important, understanding the end customer and the softer skills that somehow we women have a little more. And today we are respected for that. And because only then you can make any scalable products. And only advice, nothing to get scared. If you are focused, if you are aware of what you want in your life, in whichever domain, I would emphasize, it can be just tech marketing. Even that needs amazing knowledge of technology. Otherwise, you cannot sell a product that is completely tech heavy. That is very important. Just be passionate about what you do. Be hungry. Please learn and know whatever is happening in the world. And most importantly, again, emphasizing global knowledge. Sometimes I see someone very happy in some part of maybe India, and they just feel that, they know everything. And at the same moment, even if I just Google, I might come up with 10 other companies doing the same thing and maybe much better. And if you're aware of that, what's happening, what are the latest skills in AI, for example? Do you want to do computer vision, NLP, or, what's your focus? Or maybe you just want to be a back-end person or a project manager. Everything is in a tech world. It's part of any tech, company. But no one can do away with those, but you can definitely have an amazing career on that. And again, I'm emphasizing it can be in your supply chain. It can be just as simple as, tech recruitment. It can be any of those. You don't need to have a coding degree. You don't need to have an engineering degree. You just need to follow your heart and go ahead. There's amazing, opportunity for everyone, for each one of you in amazing companies out there, whether it's Accenture, whether it's any other company, or whether it's a mid-sized company like us. Just reach out to us, speak to us, and there's always a solution and there's always a place for each one of you to contribute in this amazing, ever-evolving tech world. It might, in certain sector, today it's called the metaverse. It will just change every day, terms will be different, but there's always another opportunity for all of you. And here we are, eagerly waiting for you, all of you guys, to contribute to for all of our journeys and make it much more, beautiful and great products that helps, be more efficient, more customer friendly, and definitely much more sustainable. So yes, we are all waiting for all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Chandralika. As you rightly mentioned, when we can all be our authentic selves, be valued for what we bring, challenge yourself to innovate and take risks, and learn continuously to thrive in the evolving tech world. Looking for what's next? Lights, camera, action. Crack the code to a greener, equal world. Any guesses? Yes, that's right. Gear up to participate in our hackathon on the theme of sustainability and stand a chance to win big. This is your opportunity to showcase your unique coding skills to shape a brighter future for all. Wait no more. Go ahead and register today to win prizes worth INR 1 lakh per team. The link is on your screen and in the chat window. Here's wishing you lots of luck, exciting challenges, and endless possibilities. It's time to realize your full potential. Let's roll. All right, that takes us to the final segment for today's event, which is exclusive breakout rooms with our tech thrivers on their career journeys, insights on accelerating equality, tech for good, and more. Learning never stops at Accenture, and we would request you to grab this opportunity to learn more and interact with our leadership. We have 4 breakout rooms today, and you can choose to join any of the discussions based on your interest. Room 1 is Elevating Communities. In this session, you will learn more about how we are empowering the communities we work and live through volunteering and creating a talent pool by empowering the underrepresented with a vision of leaving no one behind. Room 2 is Enhance Your Technology Quotient and Be Future Ready. In this session, you will learn more about how you can enhance your technology quotient to stay relevant and future ready in today's fast changing tech world. So brace yourselves for this informative session and don't miss any opportunity to ask questions you may have. Room 3 is Thrive in a Career at Accenture Technology. In this session, our leaders and campus joiners will share their experiences and success stories of thriving in the tech space. What's more, if you have a passion for technology, we have a role for you. So interact with our speakers to learn more. Room 4, Breaking Stereotypes and Bias. A stereotype is a preconceived idea that attributes certain characteristics to all the members of class or set. And bias is a term used to describe a tendency or preference towards a particular perspective, ideology, or result. Join us to engage in a constructive discussion. Before we get started, I'd like to cover a few housekeeping items. If you have any questions or if you are having trouble with connecting, please use the chat box to ask. First, go to your team's chat window and click the breakout room meeting link you wish to join. Join the meeting on mute and wait for speakers to begin. Turn the camera on when possible and stay muted while you're not talking. Select Raise Hand to let others know you'd like to speak up without interrupting the conversation. Don't add or invite other participants and do not record the session as this is strictly prohibited. Great, this brings us to the end of today's session. Thank you all for being such an amazing audience. On behalf of Accenture and campus recruitment team, a heartfelt thank you to all our Accenture leaders and to all of you for joining us today. We appreciate your time and thank you for joining the Tech Thrivers presented by Bahini. Hope you have a great rest of the day. You may now proceed to join the breakout session. The links to join the breakout rooms is in the chat window. So get started. Once again, thank you everyone. Have a nice day. This is your host Sharu signing off.